Hello. My name is Liliana Summit Castro. Um, I'm doing this video because I want to bring awareness of chronic diseases, and I also want to ask for your help. If you look at me, I look like a normal person, healthy. I'm 57 years old, and if you see me, you couldn't tell that I'm dying. I was born in Barranquilla, Colombia. And when I was 11 years old, I came to the United States. When my mother was pregnant, she contracted typhoid fever before I was born. What that did was that it damaged my immune system. So I've basically been sick since I was born. I always had stomach issues. My stomach has been an issue since I was born. I didn't tolerate any milk. I always had stomach infection or gastrointestinal infections. I was always sick. When I came to the United States, I got better with my stomach. It still bothered me constantly. I had diarrhea. Like, I did not know what was to have a normal poop. I have always been in pain. When I was little, everything hurt, like my shoulders, my arms. I have no upper strength whatsoever, and my legs always bothered me. One of the things that I have is that it seems when I was born, on my lower lumbar part, and if you see me, I have a very curved back. Two vertebrae broke and they fused together. And I always said that's where my extra inch went. I found all this out just when I was diagnosed with MS. What that created was that I have basically a leg longer than the other one, and it's like hip displacement. And the other thing is I developed scoliosis, like just the lower part. That helped me because I learned to cope with it, and I started walking. Now I know is that I started lifting one knee and the other one I didn't lift it. That has helped me deal with the MS, with the balance and the drop feet. I'm sorry, one of the things that MS has affected me is my cognitive. I have to think about the words that I have to say because I forget. Like, I know there's a beginning of a sentence and an end, but I forget what goes in between. So you will see me a lot like pausing and looking up just to think of the word or what is going to come next. People that know me know that I do not talk this fast. I've been known because I talk very, very, very fast, or I used to talk very, very fast, and people could not understand me. As I grew up, I always had a joke. I didn't like exercises. Every time I exercised or I was in the sun, I felt like I was dying. Then I came up with the saying that exercising was against my religion. When I was 12, my knees always bothered me. My knees always, oh my God, the pain, it was just horrible. At a very early age, I started taking ibuprofen and acetaminophen, I think it is, for the pain. Then my mother took me to a orthopedic, and he explained that, what was it? Oh, he said that I had juvenile arthritis. Then I got some medication. I don't remember what it was. I stopped taking it. But one of my knees always hurt. Always. Then, as I grew up, at the age of 19, I developed high blood pressure. The doctor didn't know why. There was no explanation. The only reason I found out that I had high blood pressure was when I was just getting very out of breath when I walked, and I get a whoosh. It's like a weird feeling in my ear, my left ear. Then I went because I was really feeling sick. My blood pressure was like 150 over 105 when I went there. My blood pressure, every time they took it when I tried to go to the gym or exercise or something, was like 130 over 90. And my explanation was, well, back then they had the shakes that you can lose weight. That stuff I couldn't touch. Then what happened? I love that doctor. He looked at my eyes and he said that when you have high blood pressure for a long time, it does something to your eyeball, the cornea, that. And I had it. So he put me on high blood medication when I was 22. I continue. I got used to pain. Pain for me was, I just took Advil, Tylenol, and that was my go-to thing. Also, my grandmother, home remedies. They have helped me so much in the last 2 years. And I just continue my life, but I started having problems with my period. My period was very light, and it was not the right color. Let's put it that way. When I went, and I don't know, the doctor said, "Don't you feel pain in your stomach?" And I said, "Well, uncomfortable." I really built a high tolerance to pain. When she examined me, she realized that I had endometriosis. And instead of the blood going the right way, the endometriosis and everything was going to my other organs. I had to have surgery for them. And then I was forced at the age of 23 with a drug to 6 months of menopause. I thought I was going crazy. I believe that was the first time that the MS really hit. My immune system crashed. I got infections in places that I didn't know you can get infections. I never felt better after that. Then my doctor, the one that discovered that I had high blood pressure, told me that I was about 29. And he goes, if you want to have a child, you need to have it now. Because your blood exams, I don't like what he's showing. I got pregnant when I was 30. And I wrote a letter to my son. I knew it. I see things that I should not see. I know who people are because I see auras. I know when people are going to die. I just felt something and I wrote a letter to my son. I almost died when I gave birth. My general doctor really took really good care of me while I was pregnant, but my gynecologist missed it. I didn't dilate. I had labor pains like every 5 minutes, and I was only 1 centimeter dilated. They put me on Pitocin, and I'm sorry, but I don't have another expression. Shit hit the fan. I developed a clot on my leg, and I had an emergency C-section where they had to control the anesthesia that they were giving me. And I felt basically everything when they cut me, when they put something inside. I didn't say I have pain because I didn't want the anesthesia to do anything to the baby. After my son was born, I was not the same. That was another whammy. It was, and I always blamed it on the fact that I had him too old. And my nails, I could never grow my nails again because they're like paper thin. Before they were really hard, and now they're paper thin. I started losing my eyebrows. I had a very, very thick eyebrows. This is it for me. I don't do anything to them. Thank God he left me with an arc and everything, but this is it. I don't plug them. I don't do anything to them. I started growing gray hair when I was 15. And I just continue my life. I haven't had, I could not get a tan. I could be in the sun for how many hours and I wouldn't tan. I also noticed that I stopped sweating. First it was very little, then it was like I really did not sweat and I became overheated. I'm sitting here. This is not a, headphones. This is a fan and I'm sitting on ice. I have become a vampire. I only can go out in the early mornings and like when the sun sets in the afternoon because I faint. I just go down. I'm up and I'm down. And I start throwing up and it is just a mess. Then I learned that it's just that I get very dehydrated. Even if I'm sitting at home in the the AC, I dehydrate. So I constantly have to take hydration things. One of the home remedies in Colombia for that is to create your own kind of IV. You take water, sugar, and salt. And that's basically what I drink. After Jonathan, I noticed a lot of things. I became allergic to everything, as like skin wise. I couldn't wear any perfume. I couldn't wear anything that smelled my body. Went to the doctor because you only go to the doctor when you're really sick. My vitamin D3 levels were at 6 at that time. So he said, you need vitamin D3. They gave me vitamin B12. I started feeling a little bit better, continued my life. I started just feeling weird stuff, and I was always very, very tired. There were some days that the tiredness hit me and I couldn't get out. I just had to sleep. I also noticed my legs getting very heavy. And I started feeling that my left upper leg was numb. I was walking and not only getting numb, but painful. I couldn't, like, it really took me down to the floor. I went to the neurologist. They told me I have polyneuropathy. It is polyneuropathy because usually neuropathy is just the limbs, but it becomes poly when it is in other organs. In my case, is my skin. I have a very, very delicate skin. After that, I developed high cholesterol, and I kept telling the doctors my sugar was always on point. And when I started taking the cholesterol medication, I told him, I don't feel good. My body, thank God, God sent my body trained for war. My body tells me exactly what it doesn't like in very, very bad ways. I developed, due to the cholesterol medication, I developed diabetes. They say that it's like 0.5 cases in the world, and I was it. I also started developing a lot of kidney stones. I passed 7, and boy, did it hurt. I tell you, I have the whole population of the United States. I will give birth to them and not pass another stone. Went again to the doctor, and they told me that, they did a bone density and a bunch of tests, and they discovered that I produce too much calcium. So I have what they call pots or lakes or something on my hips and around my body. So I'm not supposed to take anything that has calcium. I started developing headaches, like really, really bad headaches. When I went to the doctor, they did a CAT scan, or I don't know if it was an MRI or a CAT scan, but it was one of them. No, I think it was an MRI. And it showed that I have like little wiggly things, scars, like with little wiggly things. At the time, they didn't know that some of those wiggly things were healed lesions. Guys, this is taking a lot from me. I don't like to talk. In the group, I do the videos because those are my pals. But I sound like an idiot all the times. But bear with me. It is what it is. Where was I? I developed the kidney stones. I started developing a lot of weird things in my skin, on my skin. And I went the Colombian way, and because I don't like to take medication. That's one thing. I do not like to take medication because my stomach is very sensitive. Okay, after that, the stones, then the diabetes, they put me on every medication that you can think of, and it destroyed my stomach. Everything that I ate went out, throwing up. It was a mess. Then they put me on Ozempic, and again, hell broke loose. I lost on Ozempic. I went down like 60 pounds. And they say, oh no, it's the Ozempic that is working, and you're losing weight because that's what it is. It wasn't. My immune system crashed. I said, I'm not taking this anymore. So I stopped taking it. When I went to the doctor, they checked my stomach. No, everything is fine. And they put me on another diabetes medication. Well, they put me on a lot more diabetes medications, and I always had side effects. Now they put me on the last one that I think this is my last hope, and I can't go on insulin because my sugar doesn't get that high. The one that I got, if I take it, I urinate blood. And when I urinate blood, I have to take it. I stopped taking it. I don't know if you can see, I have these little things here. It's because my kidneys are giving me problems. My body, when it doesn't like something, it starts trying to push it out any way possible. Usually it's my kidneys and my liver, and it's something else that it does. I just kept going. Then it just, my health kept declining. A lot of pain. I had to had carpal tunnel surgery on both hands, knee surgery. I just was a mess. Then I had one of the things that happened after I had Jonathan, my stomach started growing. And I started like really gaining weight. And I'm not saying that I didn't eat. I did eat. But at the end, it wasn't really the amount for me to be gaining. And all the weight I was gaining on my stomach. And my stomach always felt funny. Like it just felt funny all the time. I always have craved things like lemon. I eat lemons like they are oranges. And it's good because my stomach needs the secretion in order to digest the food. I also crave Coca-Cola. I have beat every, I mean, I really don't have addiction except the Coca-Cola, because that's what they used to give me when I was little to calm my stomach, and it still calms my stomach. And it is because I need what the Coca-Cola does to batteries in my stomach, because I have stomach paralysis, the beginning of stomach paralysis. So that has helped me really, and I think this is since I was little, because my stomach, I always say my stomach is going to be the death of me. Then it was just when I had COVID the first time, it affected my stomach. I looked like I was expecting triple elephants, and everything hurt, like my insides hurt. I found out that COVID attacks the area that you are weaker on, and the area that I was weaker was my stomach. And worse. I just kept working, and going home, work, and doing stuff at home. Then I just felt like what kept happening was that I was standing, and all of a sudden I was on the floor. And I always say, well, maybe my knee's giving out. All this time, when I developed the neuropathy, because my thigh got numb my whole left side one day decided to go numb. I really cannot feel much. The nerve pain, yes, but my son is big and he squeezes, he lifts weights, so he squeezes any part of my left side and I don't feel it. At work, I noticed. I worked for this place for 11 years, and at the end, when they let me off, I was, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, because I think I slept, I'm not kidding you, for 2 weeks for 24 hours. I had a long commute. I always had a long commute. And things just kept going worse. My situation at home, my marriage we were having problems. I traveled to Colombia and I caught COVID again. The one that repeated 3 times. And my body said, this is it. I started just losing. I felt like I was in a maze and I couldn't find my way out, and I kept seeing hallucinations and things that were not there. One of the things that I also started noticing is people would talk to me. I heard them talking. A lot of times I don't understand what they're saying, but when I understand, it's a joke. I was teased, and I always take everything as a game, and I thought it's the age. I'm getting old. Menopause hit. Menopause was a nightmare. Menopause was the worst thing that could happen to me. One day, I woke up. I used to get a lot of headaches and different kind of headaches. I get the Aurora headaches, which is migraines. I get the ones that is like noise, like I feel like somebody's knocking at the door and I keep opening the door and nobody was there. It's like a flash thing. I get with everything that I have in my head, I get 4 types of headaches, and I'm going to go into that. I woke up one day to work because my last job was working from home, and I turned on the computer and I saw numbers and letters and I didn't know what they meant. I told my husband to take me to the hospital because this part, I always feel like somebody's just like pushing it in. When I got to the hospital, they asked my name and I didn't know my name. I was in the emergency room for 20 minutes and they automatically rushed me to to a room and put me on 1,000 milligrams of steroids. And I never had taken that in my life. That was not pretty. Before I got that sick, I was waiting for results from some tests that they did to me, because I went to one neurologist because of the numbness on my left side was just getting worse. And I said, I don't know if I have polyneuropathy, but I don't know if it's that or what. He MRI everything in my body except my head. I was waiting. The situation at home was getting worse because I was having all these symptoms and all this craziness, and nothing was happening. One day I couldn't take it. I myself stopped taking every medication because I said, I'm dying. I don't know what it is, but I'm dying. So I stopped taking everything and I went to my general doctor. I had switched him like a few years back, and I never told him that I couldn't feel my left side. He goes, what else is wrong with you? Everything was up. My blood pressure was sky high. And I said, well, I haven't felt my left side, my whole left side since about 10 years ago. And he said, why haven't you ever told me that? And I said, I don't know. And I said, I went to the neurologist, and I'm done with doctors because, I went to the neurologist and my test results were not good. He told me you have to go to a rheumatologist. I don't know why these people give this specialization such a hard names. Is the kidney doctor. I will remember. When I remember, I'll let you know. Nephrologist. The nephrologist. I went, I'm telling you, they saw everything in my body until the year 2090. And I had it. Because he said, well, they showed all the stuff that I explained that is wrong with my back. They found out that I have a hemangioma sitting on my spinal cord, pretty big, in the middle of my back. Then he said, I have all these birth defects that I'm not even going, that they have helped me. But I think all the stuff that you're feeling is trauma from childhood. I got pissed. I was like, no. I told my general doctor, said, the only person that's going to touch me from now on is you. And if you can't do it, then whatever, because I'm not going to another doctor. He says, I want to give you a CAT scan. No, I'm going to MRI your head. When I went to get the MRI, they asked for my last MRI that I had done on my head. I didn't know that I had one done, but I'm sorry, I'm just moving because my legs are getting up. When I had one, because I had a lot of problems with my sinuses. I'm always sniffy, and I have a lot of phlegm. And the doctor, I cannot tell you the doctor told me or not, didn't tell me about, yes, I think he told me that I had something on my head, but I thought it was the wiggly lines. So I said, I know about that. I think that's what I said. They found out that this test was done in 2010. But Jonathan was little. I had an hour commute every day. I really didn't want people touching me. And over there, it showed the MS lesions in my head and other stuff. I am glad that I never found out because I always push myself. A lot of people started saying that I sounded like I was a hypochondriac. And I really started believing that, like, no, this is all in my head. So I really pushed this poor body. When I found out that I had MS and all this stuff that I had, I went to a spa just to ask for forgiveness. And I pushed myself. And it made me strong. After I left the hospital, things were bad. I couldn't really remember. I couldn't speak. It's just putting sentences together. People started teasing me, and that made it worse. I didn't know Oh my God. I go from 0 to a million or cosmic million in a nanosecond. It's just my emotions, and I have never been like that. It just got worse, 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 worse. And when I went to the neurologist, that I had to go back to the same group where the one that